times like this, it's days like this that make me wonder if I do this because I actually love what I do, or do I do it because I'm just morbidly bored? Or 99% of the time when I review a movie, it's because I love what I do. I love talking about movies. This is what I do. This is probably the 0.01% of the time that I just did it because I was fucking bored and I just felt like doing it. Kidnap is a movie that I did see last week that I just decided not to review until just now because, again, I'm bored today and I just felt like doing a review. So here we go. It stars Halle Berry, and the premise of the movie is a little boy gets kidnapped from his mom. No, that's it. There's nothing else to the story. There's nothing else to explain. There's no in-depth plot summary here. That's pretty much what the movie is. A woman sees her kid getting kidnapped. She takes off after them, and that's the entire movie. Which I will say this right off the bat, the movie is actually not complete camel shit. I thought that the movie was gonna be camel shit when I first saw the trailer for it. I was like, oh my god, that looks awful. This movie is surprisingly not as it's not god awful. I mean, it's bad, yeah, but it's a watchable kind of bad in certain aspects. Definitely. I gotta give the movie props for subverting my low expectations. I mean, my expectations were probably somewhere between the ground and, you know, like the in-between space between the ground and hell. It's probably where my expectations were for this thing. Halle Berry is definitely trying in this movie. I mean, you could definitely see that she's giving a good effort. This may surprise people, but Halle Berry actually is an Academy Award winning actress, or nominated actress. I can't remember if she actually won. I think she did actually win one. But either way, Halle Berry is an Oscar Award winning actress. People forget that about her. You look at the decisions that she's made in film in the last 10 plus years, and it's easy to lose sight of that. But Halle Berry is a very talented actress when she's given the right material to work with. And you can tell in this movie that she's trying, she's giving a decent, solid, you know, workmanlike effort. And if for nothing else, Halle Berry looks good. I mean, she always looks good. It doesn't matter what year it is, doesn't matter what movie it is. Halle Berry looks good, and you gotta point that out about the movie. So she gets a solid E for effort in this thing, and she gets this D for looking fine. Again, the premise of the movie, it's a simple ass premise. You know, a kid gets kidnapped from his parents, and okay, you get that. But the thing that I started to respect about this movie a little bit is that it took that premise and it kind of turned it into something that would be entertaining. I mean, a woman sees her kid getting kidnapped, and she takes off after them. In most movies, when the parent's kid gets kidnapped, they either don't see it happening, like it happens right under their nose and they have no idea, or they see it happening and then they waste time panicking and then they call the police, and by that time the kidnappers are gone, and so we have our movie. In this movie, you see a woman who sees her son getting kidnapped right in front of her, and she goes, oh, well, no, that's not happening. I'm gonna take off after you. And she goes off after them, and then there's like this really long extended chase sequence in the middle of the movie. It's an interesting idea. I mean, that takes the simple premise and it tries to execute it in a different way, and you could have like a fun little sleek thriller there. That being said, this movie is actually not a very good movie, like at all. Like it's a bad movie. It is. It's just a bad movie. Editing in this movie is absolutely atrocious. Like, the editing is some of the worst editing that I've seen in a film this year, and this is coming from a guy who has seen Resident Evil and lived to tell about it. It's not Resident Evil bad levels of editing, but it's kind of awful. Whatever they were trying to go for with the camera work in this thing, and the edits between the scenes, and then the edits in the scenes themselves, whatever they were going for, it just didn't work. Not just a little bit of shaky cam, not just the overuse of jump cuts and stuff like that, and not just the overall messy quality of the camera work and the technical aspects of this film. But then there's also this one part where they're trying to do this stylistic thing where the screen is like flickering, and it's like the screen is going like fading to black over and over again. But I couldn't help but watch that scene and get irritated. It just irritated my eyes watching it. I'm like, I get what you guys are going for, and it's just not working. It's an irritating thing. Don't do that. In this movie, you have your usual amounts of implausible logic. You have characters making stupid decisions that don't make sense, or, you know, decisions that in hindsight, when you look back, it's like, well, you could have made another decision and the movie probably be over at this point. Not to mention some of the dialogue is just, it's man, there's some bad dialogue in this movie, and not just the whole "you messed with the wrong son" line. It gets worse. There's worse lines in this movie for sure. Because it's not offensively bad, so I can't rant on it, but at the same time, it's not good enough for me to recommend to anybody. It's not quite a guilty pleasure, but I will push Kidnap to Kryptonite. It's a bad movie, but it's not as awful as it could have been. That's okay, I know most of you didn't go see Kidnap, so just tell me what your favorite Halle Berry movie is. Just tell me whatever your favorite Halle Berry movie is, put that down below. Like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.